This June, Porsche scored a 1-2 victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The success was based on the perfect execution of race strategy by drivers, engineers and mechanics. Nowhere is this teamwork more apparent than in the pit stops, with 30 crucial stops over the 24 hours.
We do the pit stop practice every day here at Le Mans. It's one of the most important things about the race. Generally, there's a rule of thumb: the car that spends the least amount of time on pit lane normally wins the race.
Practice as often as possible, probably 10 times on day 0 before a race weekend. And the reason for practicing is practice makes perfect, and we need perfect pit stops in the race to optimize our race performance.
You can lose a lot of time in the pit lane, and it's really hard to get the time back on the track. So we do it every time. We have the time to do so when we're not working on the car.
The regulations in the World Endurance Championship mean there isn't the luxury of the small army we see in Formula 1.
Much busier than Formula 1. Formula 1, they've got, let's say, one task. And in sports car racing, each mechanic has several tasks, from fueling, tyre changes to front-end changes or whatever repairs need to be made.
It's 4 guys in total. Only 1 wheel gun and 1 wheel stacker at the time allowed in the working area.
While the pit crew rush into action, the drivers must also be on their toes for these tight changeovers.
It's very important the drivers are quick. To make an effective pit stop and driver change, the driver has to be in the car, belted up, ready to go before we finish fueling.
It's actually very easy for us to be slower than what the pit crew can do. We can get the belts tangled, the driver coming out could be slow. We have to also put a seat insert. This takes some time, so we've got an extra 20 seconds, but if anything goes wrong, that 20 seconds can evaporate very quickly.
The team practice every scenario that the engineers can come up with until it's all automatic. During the race itself, the drivers will be in position early, assessing the race situation and getting ready for their stint.
Generally, we try to be here 2 stints before. Things can change quite quickly in the race, and you don't want someone boxing and then there's no driver here, so we need to be ready and waiting. It's not a bad thing because we get to watch the race from the best possible spot in the pit box here, but during the night it gets quite long, because you have about 4 or 5 hours off and then you've got to be back in the car, so by the time you factor in going backwards, waiting 2 hours in the garage, between the stints you have about 3 hours to nap or do whatever you need to do, so there's not much time.
For the rest of the crew, the race is equally attritional, with little time to rest or leave their stations.
That all happens in the garage. You're always full geared. If you grab a plate of food or whatever, you just go back into the garage, sit down on your chair and just wait till something's happened.
No sleep for the race engineers. I mean, the mechanics may steal a wink or 2 in between pit stops, but the engineers in the back and the engineers on the pit wall are up the whole race, including the warm-up, so it's around 36 hours. It's normally not a problem. I mean, there's enough adrenaline running through everyone's bodies during the race that it's not an issue. After the race, a different story, but during the race, it's no problem at all.
There are enough factors in a 24-hour race that are outside the team's control. Weather and racing incidents, but perfect pit stops make a real difference to results.
We've seen already this year that the race results go down to the wire, be it 6 hours or potentially 24 hours. So every second that you save in pit lane is the second you gain on track. And whether it's 1 second, 17 seconds or 2 minutes, the less time you spend in pit lane is a competitive advantage for the team.
Click here to subscribe to Mobil 1 The Grid YouTube channel for more great exclusive motorsport videos. Thanks for watching.